The alien ship entered Earth space without sound, no fire, no warning, no attack. It simply appeared above the planet like a silent shadow, watching. Inside the ship, the crew stood calm and focused. They had crossed many stars. Earth was only one more world to study, but Lyrae, the empath, froze the moment the ship slowed. She had been trained for this. She was one of the strongest empathic minds in the alien fleet. Her role was simple: feel, understand, report. She closed her eyes and reached out with her senses. The instant she touched Earth, everything broke. Emotions slammed into her mind like a storm. Love, fear, hope, grief, joy, anger, all. At once, Lyrae cried out and fell to her knees. Her breath became short. Her hands trembled. Her thoughts scattered like glass. This was wrong. No species felt like this. Empaths were used to emotion flowing in clear patterns, soft, organized, controlled. Even when violent spížne, human emotion, crashed into each other, mixed together, and burned without rest. Billions of voices screamed and whispered at the same time. Lyrae pressed her hands to her head. Too loud. She whispered. The ship's commander rushed toward her. What is happening? He demanded. Lyrae tried to answer. But another wave hit her, this one sharper. A child crying, a mother holding hope through pain, a soldier forcing himself to be brave, a man smiling while hiding heartbreak. Humans were suffering, humans were loving, humans were feeling everything, every second. No species should survive this, Lyrae gasped. The medical team ran scans. Her body was fine. Her brain showed overload. But no damage, that made it worse. The commander frowned. Focus on one region, he ordered. Reduce the range. Lyrae nodded weakly. She narrowed her senses, pulling away from the planet as a whole. The noise faded, but something remained. One signal, one human. It was faint at first, like a distant heartbeat. Then it grew stronger. Steady, calm, sad. Lyrae's breath slowed. This human was different. His emotions were not quiet, but they were focused. He carried pain, but it did not control him. He carried love, but it did not bimlai while walking. Late at night, alone, staring at screens filled with strange symbols. His body was tired, but his mind was sharp. He believed in something. Lyrae leaned forward without realizing it. The connection deepened, and then he felt her. The human froze. He looked up, heart racing, as if someone had just whispered his name. From nowhere, Lyrae gasped and pulled back hard, breaking the link. That should not be possible. Humans were not supposed to sense empaths. The room was silent. The commander stared at her. What did you find? Lyrae struggled to stand. Humans are unstable, she said carefully. Their emotions never stop. They feel love and pain together, fear and hope together. That is dangerous, another officer said. Yes, Lyrae replied. But also powerful. The commander crossed his arms. Can they be controlled? Lyrae remembered the human's steady heartbeat. I don't know, she said. But they cannot be ignored. The council was contacted immediately. Across the ship, alien leaders watched Lyrae's report with growing concern. Empaths were rare. If even one struggled, it meant risk. Reduce empath exposure, the council ordered. No deep emotional contact. Lyrae nodded, but her thoughts drifted back to the human. His name floated in her mind. Pulled from data, without effort, Ethan, she did not know why that mattered, but it did, later. Alone in her chamber, Lyrae tried to rest. She failed. Every time she closed her eyes. Earth returned. She felt humans laughing while hiding. Sadness. She felt love given without promise of return. She felt people. Breaking and standing again, her chest ached. Empaths were taught to observe. Never attach, but something had already changed without permission. Her mind reached out again. She found Ethan instantly. He was drinking cold coffee, staring at the stars through a window. His thought heavy, but no place where alone. He murmured to the empty room. Lyrae's breath caught. He did not know she existed, but somehow she felt like he was speaking to her. The connection strengthened to strong. Alarms flared across the ship. Empath spike detected. Shawarikra Butistim. It was not chaos. It was focused. It was human love, not romantic. Not soft, but deep, loyal, endless, the kind that survives loss, the kind that would burn worlds if threatened. Lyrae realized the truth in terror and awe. Humans were not weak because they felt too much. They were strong because they refused to stop. She whispered, voice shaking, we were not ready. The ship drifted silently above Earth. Below, humanity lived, loved, and struggled unaware that their hearts had already changed the galaxy and somewhere between the stars. An alien empath realized human love was the most dangerous force she had ever touched. The alien ship remained hidden above Earth. From the surface, no one could see it. No one knew the galaxy was watching them. Inside the ship, Lyrae tried to follow orders. She reduced her empath range. She focused only on systems, numbers, and reports. She told herself the human was only noise. Dangerous noise. But humans did not fade easily, especially Ethan. She felt him even when she did not reach out. His emotions echoed softly in her mind, like a distant signal that never fully disappeared. Curiosity became temptation, and temptation became choice. During the next observation cycle, Lyrae broke protocol. She focused on Ethan again. This time, she was careful. She touched only the edge of his mind. Ethan was in a large underground room filled with screens and quiet machines. Other humans worked nearby, speaking in low voices. The air smelled of metal and coffee. He was part of Earth's first contact research team. Lyrae felt a strange tightening in her chest. Humans were preparing for alien life. They hoped, they feared, but they prepared anyway. Ethan sat alone now, reading data late into the night. His body was tired, but his thoughts were alive. He believed discovery mattered, even if it cost comfort. Lyrae had studied warriors, rulers, and conquerors. This human was none of those, and yet his presence felt stronger than most leaders she had known. She slipped deeper, but Ethan suddenly paused. He rubbed his arms as if cold. Why do I feel like someone's watching me? He muttered. Lyrae froze. She pulled back instantly. Her heart raced. That reaction should not happen. No. Human should sense an empathic touch so clearly. The next cycle. The alien council summoned her. You are forming a focus bond. Je commandais. Said Lyrae lowered her eyes. Yes. Humans are emotionally unstable, another council member added. Extended contact risks empath collapse. They feel too much, the commander said. Love, grief, fear all mixed. It is inefficient. Lyrae hesitated. It is. Intense, she agreed. Then end it, the council ordered. Observe from distance only. The meeting ended, but The silence inside Lyrae felt heavier than before. She tried to obey. She focused on other regions. Autres humains. Other emotions. Nothing compared. Humans laughed while hurting. They helped strangers. While broken, they loved knowing it could destroy them. And Ethan carried a quiet sadness. She felt memories of someone he had lost. A presence no longer. There, yet he still smiled at others. Still showed kindness. Lyrae had never felt such contradiction. Alien minds avoided pain. Humans walked straight into it. The next time she reached out. She did not hide. She let Ethan feel her presence clearly. He gasped and stood up fast. The room was empty, but his heart was racing. Hello? He whispered. Lyrae felt panic. This was wrong, but then she felt something else from him. Not fear, wonder. She softened the connection. She sent calm, warmth, a single thought. Gentle and simple. You are not alone. Ethan froze. Tears filled his eyes, though he did not know why. Who are you? He asked the air. Lyrae pulled back slightly, but stayed connected. She did not answer with words. She answered with feeling. Curiosity, respect. Cared. Ethan sank into his chair. Breathing slowly. I'm losing my mind, he said quietly. But this doesn't feel like a threat. L'oreille's chin, Alain and Bonte observed démesuré, unfamiliar. Growing inside her, attachment over the next days, the connection continued. Short moments. Careful. Touches. Ethan spoke aloud sometimes about his work. Idil. His hope that humans could meet aliens without fear. Lyrae listened. She learned that humans talked to themselves when alone. She learned that pain did not stop them from dreaming. She learned that love did not need permission. The council noticed changes. Your emotional patterns are unstable, the commander warned. I am functional. Lyrae replied, but deep inside, she knew the truth. She was changing. One cycle. Ethan whispered into the empty room, if you're real. Première puère. Not afraid of us. The word struck her like a blade, because she was afraid, not of human violence, not of human weapons. She was afraid of human love, because it stayed, because it hurt, because once felt. It could not be erased. Lyrae understood now why alien empaths avoided humans. Humans did not protect their hearts. They offered them freely, and they survived anyway as the ship drifted silently above Earth. Lyrae made a choice she would never be able to undo. She did not disconnect. She leaned closer, and the distance between alien and human began to disappear. The alien council did not sleep. They watched data streams, emotional graphs, and empath readings from Lyrae's mind. What they saw disturbed them. Her emotional stability was changing. Human emotions were no longer passing through her. They were staying. This is contamination. One council member said, correction. Another replied, this is bonding. The word carried weight among alien empaths. Bonding was forbidden. To bond meant loss of control. To lose control meant collapse. Lyrae stood alone before the council. Her posture calm, but her thoughts restless. You are forming a dangerous attachment. The commander said, humans do not regulate emotion. Their love is uncontrolled. Lyrae met his gaze. Humans regulate through endurance, she said. They feel pain and continue. That is not strength, the commander replied. That is instability. Lyrae remembered Ethan's quiet voice, his steady heart. Then instability is their power. She said softly. The council dismissed her. Orders were clear. No more contact. Observation only if empath overload continued. She would be removed from duty. Lyrae returned to her chamber, surrounded by silence that now felt sharp and cold, for the first time in her life. Emotional quiet hurt. She tried to distract herself with training data. It failed. Her thoughts. Truard, wie filtered, absacif way. She felt a sudden spike. Confusion. Loneliness. Loss. Ethan sat in the dark, staring at nothing. Lyrae reached out without thinking. The connection flared instantly. You're gone. Ethan whispered. I knew it was too good to be real. Pain struck her hard. She had studied pain. She had never shared it. I'm here. Je sens. The thought trembling. Ethan inhaled sharply. Relief washed through him like light. The council alarms activated. Immediately, Lyrae ignored them. She saw what the council feared. Human. Love was not soft. It demanded presence. It demanded return. Once a human opened their heart, they did not close it easily. That was why aliens feared it. Love like that could pull an empath apart or remake them across the... Other empaths were assigned limited exposure to humanity. The results were terrifying. One empath collapsed, overwhelmed by grief from a hospital ward. Another refused to connect again after feeling a human. Parent lose a child. A third severed his empathic ability completely, choosing emotional blindness over human contact. Reports filled the council chambers. Humans are emotionally hazardous, the commander declared. Their love causes structural damage to empathic minds. Watched the weeping swords, schön der Stud. Now, alien empaths evolved to filter emotion. Humans did not filter. They absorbed. They carried pain for each other. They suffered together, and still. They loved more, that kind of emotional gravity. Bent empathic minds by cohort. Ethan spoke again. You don't have to stay, he said softly. Whatever you are. I don't want to hurt you. The words stunned her. He was protecting her, even without knowing her form, even without knowing her species. Humans protected what they loved, even at their own cost. Lyrae felt something break inside her. Maybe open the council's final warning. End this connection. The commander ordered, if you refuse, we will sever it for you. Severing meant neural damage. It meant forgetting. It meant losing Ethan completely. Lyrae stood still, her mind racing. Empaths lived long lives. They avoided pain. They remained whole. Humans lived shorter lives. They embraced pain. They lived fully for the first time. Lyrae questioned her people's wisdom. What was survival without connection? What was safety without meaning? She felt Ethan's presence again, hope mixed with fear. He did not ask her to stay. He did not demand anything. He simply felt, and in that feeling was trust. Lyrae made her decision. She did not disconnect. She strengthened the bond. Across the ship, alarms screamed. Empath thresholds shattered. The council stared in horror as Lyrae's readings stabilized instead of collapsing. Human love was not destroying her. It was anchoring her. The commander whispered, disbelief in his voice. That should not be possible. But it was, because humans did not drain emotion. They shared it. Lyrae sent one clear thought to Ethan. Stronger than ever before, I am afraid. Ethan swallowed. So am I, he whispered back. But I'm still here. In that moment, the council understood their mistake. Humans were not emotionally weak. They were emotionally contagious. And once an empath truly connected to a human heart, there was no safe way back. The warning came too late. A hostile alien fleet entered the edge of Earth's system without slowing. Their ships were sharp, dark, and built for war. Not study, they had been watching humanity from afar, and they had come to claim the planet. The Alien Council felt it instantly. Fear spread across the command chamber. These are the Karun, the commander said. They see emotional species as resources, not equals. Lyrae felt the shift before any alarm sounded. Human fear rippled across the planet, not panic. Preparation. Soldiers moved. Scientists evacuated. Families held each other tighter. Ethan was. Still at the facility, when the alert hit, Lyrae felt his pulse quicken but his resolve harden. He stayed. He helped others. Reach safety. He did not run. That choice struck her. Harder than any scream, the Council issued a cold command. We will withdraw. This is not our war. Lyrae turned sharply. Humans are not prepared, she said. They are not our responsibility. The commander replied. Lyrae felt Ethan's fear spike not for himself, but for the people around him. Human love again, selfless, dangerous, uncontrolled. She could not look away. She could not stay silent. The Karun fleet opened fire in Earth's orbit. Defense systems activated. But they were not enough. Cities trembled under shock waves. Lyrae felt it all. The terror. The courage. The love people clung to in there. Final moments. Her mind screamed. Empaths were not meant to carry this. The Council shouted orders. Lyrae, disengage. Your levels are critical. She ignored them. Her focus locked onto Ethan. He was trapped. Debris had collapsed part of the facility. Smoke filled the halls. Emergency lights flickered. Ethan helped an injured colleague move forward. Then the ceiling cracked. Lyrae felt the exact moment his fear turned sharp, but not for death, for failure. I won't make it, he whispered. I'm sorry. That was it. Something inside Lyrae shattered or unlocked. She did not ask permission. She did not wait for command. She acted. The alien ship decloaked. For the first time in human history, an alien vessel revealed itself above Earth. Screenliup, Everida screamed, Council Shock. Lyrae, stop. You will start a war. She did not respond. She focused on Ethan. She reached beyond empathy into action. Energy surged from the ship. Bending space just enough, the collapsing structure froze mid-fall. Humans stared in disbelief. Ethan looked up. Heart pounding, and for the first time, he saw her, not clearly, not fully, but enough. A glowing shape in the air, gentle, powerful, real. Is that you? He whispered. Lyrae's voice reached him, not through sound, but through emotion. Yes. The structure settled safely. People ran free. Lives were saved. Across orbit. The Karun fleet paused. They had not expected resistance. The Council erupted. You have revealed us. Yes, Lyrae replied calmly. Because hiding while humans die is not neutrality, it is cowardice. Silence followed. The Karun commander transmitted a message. Withdraw, it ordered humanity. Or be erased. Before Earth could respond, Lyrae did something no empath had ever done. She projected human emotion outward. Love, defiance. Unity. Rage. At injustice, the signal struck the Karun like a psychic shockwave. They recoiled. They had never felt anything like it. Their species suppressed emotion. Human emotion hit them like fire. The alien Council watched in stunned silence. Lyrae was not collapsing. She was standing stronger than ever, powered by humanity. The Karun ships retreated, not destroyed, but shaken. Earth was silent. Then the planet erupted in noise. Relief. Cheers. Tears. Ethan sat on the ground, shaking. You came back, he whispered. Lyrae felt exhaustion finally catch her. I was afraid. She admitted. So was I, Ethan said. But you still saved us. The council contacted her privately. You have changed everything. The commander said. Yes, Lyrae replied. Humans changed me first. As the alien ship hovered openly above Earth, the galaxy watched. An empath had broken every rule and survived because she chose human love over alien fear, and nothing would ever be the same again. The world did not fall into chaos that surprised everyone after the alien ship revealed itself. Many expected panic, riots, fear, anger. Instead, humanity did something different. People watched the sky in silence. Then they helped each other. Emergency. Crews kept working. Doctors treated the wounded. Families held hands. Messages of hope spread across networks faster than fear ever could. Lyrae felt it all. The noise was still strong, but it was no longer overwhelming. It was focused. Humanity was afraid, but it stood. Together, the alien council observed in disbelief. They should be breaking down. One member said, they are adapting. Another whispered Lay remained connected to the planet, but now she understood the flow. Human emotion was not chaos, it was movement. It rose and fell, but it always carried people forward. Ethan was taken to a safe location. He sat with others, speaking calmly, reassuring those around him even while his own hands shook. Lyrae watched. Quietly, this was human strength, not weapons, not ships, but care. Even when afraid, the council sent a message to Earth, careful, neutral, formal. Ethan was chosen to respond. Not because he was powerful, but because he was human. He stood before cameras, his voice steady. We do not want war, he said, but we will not hide. We choose cooperation over fear. Lyrae felt pride surge through her, not pride in victory, pride in choice, across the galaxy. Other species listened. They felt something unfamiliar, respect. The council spoke again to Lyrae. You risked your life, the commander said, for a species you barely knew. I knew them enough, she replied. You allowed their emotions into you, another said. You should have broken. I didn't, Lyrae answered. Because humans don't face emotion alone. They carry it together. The council fell silent. Empath data confirmed the impossible. Lyrae's mind had not fractured, it had grown stronger. Human emotion had stabilized her, anchored her. What does that mean? The commander asked. It means, Lyrae said softly, that human love is not a weakness, it is a force. Other empaths were allowed limited connection again, this time with guidance, this time with respect. The results were different. Those who approached humanity without fear did not collapse. They adapted. The galaxy learned a dangerous truth. Humans did not conquer with violence. They changed others simply by caring. Ethan stood outside. At night, staring up at the alien ship still visible in the sky, Lyrae reached out gently. Does this frighten you? She asked. Yes, he admitted, but it also gives me hope. Why? Because you chose us, Ethan said. That means something. Lyrae felt warmth spread through her. Choice. That was the center of human love. They chose to care, even when it hurt. The council made a historic decision. Earth would not. Be isolated, it would become a bridge. Humans would help other species understand. Emotion without fear. Humanity was no longer just a young species. It was a guide, a shield, a warning. 2. Any who believed feeling was weakness, but as dawn rose across Earth, Lyrae felt something she had never experienced. Before, belonging, she was not human, but she was no longer apart. Humanity had changed her, and in doing so, humanity had changed the galaxy. The war never came. The Karun fleet stayed away, shaken by what they had felt. Other species watched from a distance, careful now, curious instead of cruel. Earth healed. Cities were repaired. Lives continued. Humanity did what it always did. It moved forward. The alien ship no longer hid. It stayed in the sky, peaceful and bright, a reminder that the universe was larger than fear. Lyrae remained connected to Earth. But now the connection felt gentle. Human emotions still flowed: joy, sorrow, love, but they no longer overwhelmed her. She understood them. She had learned how humans carried emotion. Together, Ethan often stood outside at dawn. Watching the sky, Lyrae joined him through the connection. One morning, she did something new. She appeared, not as energy, not as a distant presence, but as herself. Ethan felt it before he saw it. Warmth. Calm, then light. He turned slowly. She stood there tall, graceful, glowing softly in the morning air. The stars. But her expression was human in one way that mattered. She was nervous. You don't have to be afraid. Ethan said gently, I am. Lyrae replied, but humans taught me that fear does not mean stop. They stood in silence, not awkward, not rushed, just real. Around them, the world continued. Birds flew. The city woke. Life Mauvais Henri looked with wonder. Such pain. Sighed. And still, so much love. That's us, Ethan replied. We don't choose one. She nodded slowly. I was taught to avoid pain, she said, to stay whole. And now? He asked. Now I understand, she said. Wolen is not avoiding pain. It is sharing it. Ethan smiled. He did not reach for her. He waited. Lyrae took the step instead. She reached out and touched his hand. Her skin was warm, real. Human emotion surged, but gently this time. Hope but comfort, connection across the galaxy. New rules were written. Empaths were no longer forbidden from bonding. Humanity became a bridge between worlds, not because they were perfect, but because they were willing to feel. Lyrae stayed, not as an observer, but as a partner, a student of humanity, and in time, a friend. As the sun rose higher, Lyrae and Ethan stood together, watching light spread across the planet. She no longer felt afraid of human love. She respected it because love did not weaken humans, it made them brave, and in choosing to love, humanity had done what no weapon ever could. They changed the universe, quietly,